How's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Petey. I can hear you.
What's going on? Finally, it's been a while. When did we do that first interview?
Like it had to be like 6 months ago, like plus 6 months ago, for
It was
sure.
when Atlanta hosted the Super Bowl because I asked you. You were like, I'm not going to the
Oh,
Super Bowl.
yeah. So that was what, February then?
Yeah,
February last year. So wow, it's been a long time.
it has been a long time. It has been a long time. I I find it's one of those things too where um this quarantine has brought everyone kind of together, so to speak, a little bit.
Absolutely. I think like the quarantine made you realize like who you're closest with, like all of that, what you want to do in life. It's kind of like this like finding yourself moment almost.
It is, no, for sure. Well, thank you for doing this. I know you've been doing quite a few of these lives. You're busy, Renee. You're always on the grind.
I am. I'm not the sit still type. Like I kind of want to always be adapting with whatever's going on. So right now we're in a pandemic and it's time to do lives.
Bro, absolutely. You know, the one question I kind of had right off the bat is anyone who follows you on social media or knows, Renee Montgomery, they know that, you wear many hats. You're not just an athlete, you're not just a hooper. You act, you're an analyst, you do a lot. When in your career did you realize that you had to do more than just be like a basketball player? When did that kind of sink in?
I mean, I just always wanted to do it. So now that I'm doing it, it's so fulfilling because it's something that I've
Yeah.
wanted to do for so long. But obviously, playing sports takes up a lot of your time. So I
Yeah.
wanted to focus on sports because that's a blessing and I didn't want to just let that go away. But now that I have time, oh man, I'm having so much fun with doing things that I'm passionate about, other things I'm passionate about than
Uh,
basketball.
what were some things besides basketball that were kind of on the top of the list of stuff that you wanted to do?
Start my foundation. That was one of the
Yep.
first, like, once I stopped going overseas, it's the first thing that I focused on, doing the paperwork, getting it to be a 501c3 so that it's legit. And that was like the very first, like, I'm going to do it now. Excuse me, I'm going to do it now thing.
Tell us a little bit about the foundation.
So my foundation, it's a little different in a sense that a lot of foundations, they provide clothes, they provide, like they do soup kitchens. And so while I'm going to still try to do those type of things, I want to make it cool. So I want people to like want to be at my foundation events. For instance, for Thanksgiving, we were planning on doing like a 5-star restaurant style thing for families, not just kids, so that they could come, like black table affair type thing,
Yep.
and order from a menu. So they would want to show that on Instagram instead of, sometimes in situations they don't want to be seen like taking food or taking handouts.
No, absolutely. That's good. I followed you for a while. You are an inspiration. Like you do a lot of really cool things. You give back. How important is it for athletes to give back, Renee?
I mean, for me, it's everything just because I want people to have a closeness to me. I want people to feel connected. And I think me being the athlete, people can see they can do it. I'm from West Virginia, so it's not like had all the things laid out for me. I had a lot of struggles in my career. I'm short. So that's something that's never going to change. It's going to be a constant struggle, but I'm still here. So I don't know, just that mindset and knowing that people don't have that inner confidence. I want to always try to like give that to people.
For sure, for sure. So last time you were on, we definitely talked a lot about music, and we definitely talked about your favorite Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
And that's kind of like a thing because every time I listen to that artist or that genre of music, I always think of you right away. And I don't know if you notice, I always like when I
You
post on my
do.
story, I always tag
You
you.
do. You tag me. Listen, it cracks me up every time. People have no idea, but I'm like, I sang some Justin Bieber and Drake for you too, because you are my Canadian friend. But listen, I don't know. I like vibes, and Jeremiah makes music that creates like a cool, calm vibe. So I'm here for. I'm glad you think of me when you think of Jeremiah.
You know who I'm interviewing later? Do you
Who?
remember Mims? This is why I'm hot. Remember that
This
song?
is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. What
I'm
do you mean I
interview
remember that song?
I'm interviewing him in a little bit.
What? Come on,
Yeah.
PD Beats.
No, yeah, that song was massive.
Yeah, that is pretty big. So I'm the warm up. I like that. Tell Mims I said what's good and that I need to talk to him about his next track. Okay.
It was funny because you were telling me the only like I really liked the "Don't Tell Him" by Jeremiah, and you started singing
Ain't no
it,
telling. You
and
ain't just
then
gotta tell him.
But it's one. I think I saw you were on live with Paul, and you were just playing like video games.
Yeah. Like I tell people like however I am right here with you, it's really how we are in the house all the time. There's always there's always entertainment going on, and like until we all just pass out the house and sleep. When we wake up, it's back again.
And I definitely saw like we were kind of talking in the live that Paul did with Paul. Shout out to PG Sports.
Shout out to my man Paul at PG Sports.
He's doing He's awesome. He's doing good things. He had my friend Sam Edwards on yesterday.
He has everybody on. He does one a day.
I know. Well, I did one. I talked to him about this. Like there was a few weeks. Now I do like once every like 2-3 days, right? But I was doing like 7 or 8 a night at one point.
Wait, what, Petey?
Yeah, you didn't see that? Yeah, you didn't see like I had like a lineup.
I didn't see your lineup. I'm not one to watch a lot of stories, so I didn't see your lineup, P Beats, but that seems exhausting. That seems like that's a lot.
It wasn't a good. I did one where it was like 4 hours of live straight, and it wasn't a good idea. Like I don't do those anymore.
No one's watching that, Petey.
Okay, they watched it. Hey, they did. I had a lot of people.
I meant in general, not that that's you, unless you're Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, because they did a 4-hour one and it was a success.
So the WNBA draft was held online last week.
Virtual
draft. Now you were drafted. What year was that?
2009. I was drafted number 4, but our draft was at New York. But it's not always the same place with the WNBA because there were a couple years where it was in Connecticut. So this time it was virtually.
What advice do you have for those people that got their names kind of called? I mean, it's the next step of their career as a pro athlete. I mean, what were the vibes going like for you in 2009 when you got drafted?
Honestly, I can't imagine what they're in right now because when I got drafted, I was so anxious to get to my team and almost try to like start my next chapter in my life in a sense that I can't go back to UConn. I'm graduated. So I'm like, all right, let me just jump into the WNBA full swing. And so for them, I know it's probably a limbo right now. I would tell them don't stress, because like it could be easy to stress. I can't imagine going into a quarantine and then my rookie year having to perform because everybody wants to see what you're going to do in the pros at that point. So for us, like I'm going from quarantine into my 11th season. So there's a different type of pressure I'm sure they feel, but I would just tell them don't worry about it. Don't stress. It is what it is. We all
11 seasons? That's
yeah, I'm out here.
The vets. The vet.
Yeah. So I would tell them don't stress. We're all going to look a mess. Don't stress.
So I got a little bit of bone pick with you because I played as the Atlanta Dream in NBA 2K.
No. What happened?
What happened? Listen, all right? I'm upset.
What happened?
I'm upset because the announcers being like, Renee Montgomery is like really good at threes and she's good at a three-pointer and everything. And I'm like, okay, I feel this. So my game plan was obviously to utilize that, right? 3 for 7?
Wow.
Like, come on. No, listen, all right?
That's like 40%.
Yeah.
You're mad at me shooting 40%?
They're talking you up. Like it's going to be like.
I mean, I appreciate them talking me up. I do shoot threes. I'm shooting 40%, Petey. What do you want from me?
I wanted more than that.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
We can't even get it right.
Some of those games get intense. Like there's some good like
Are you
back
trying
and
to tell
forth.
me that I lost the game for you?
Well, we won.
Okay. Well, then what's the problem?
No. I'm just saying. They're like. I was just like.
Oh.
I mean, 40% is very good. I wanted it to be like 7. I wanted
60. You want me to shoot 60? You want 5 for 7? What you want, Petey? What you want?
It is serious note though. It's how sick is that you're in that video game? That's awesome.
No, for real. That like every time I see my son playing it, I'm like, what? My nephews and nieces, they all send me stuff of playing it. My nephews, my family is in the video game. So for me, it's like crazy to see. They'll send videos of themselves. I need to post some of that more, but they send me videos of them playing with me. And that's like.
But what they did too is you remember back in the day, like I had some NHL prospects and friends. Like the graphics in video games have really become amazing, right? And
yeah.
Renee Montgomery looks like you all look like each other.
Yeah,
mine
I don't know if it looks like it on yours, but mine, I think I need to be like 4 shades darker. I'm a little bit too light.
PG Sports calling you out. We need the 80% than 100% in the video games, Renee.
Oh my goodness! Like that's great. That's like Steph Curry should be shooting that. Oh my!
I just find it like that's also pretty cool that they have like, because they don't have one for every player, but like there's like blurbs about you, like bio blurbs, like in the game, which is pretty cool.
It's crazy. Like when I watch it, I'm just like, that's wild. I'm in the game. Yeah. It's like EA Sports used to have the slogan like EA Sports.
It's in the game.
And so every time I watch NBA 2K, which is ironic, but I think like I'm in the game. Like I think it in that tone.
It is wild right now. What, like, I mean, it's so fluid right now. Like we don't know like when you're going back to it. You know what I mean? But everyone's kind of like itching to get back on the court. Is that like how bad do you want to go back and play basketball? Like it must be like up there.
It's crazy because I didn't even have an off season. So a lot of players are coming from an overseas season, so they kind of scratch that itch of wanting to play closer than I did. For me now, it's not even like, of course I want to play, like duh, but I'm just like concerned. Like I'm concerned. Like my whole thought process isn't necessarily around wanting to play. I'm like, how are they going to do it? Like my thought process is if we do go back to play. I'm kind of like a germy person. So like even before the pandemic, I was wearing masks in the airport. Like that's just me. So my concern is, okay, when we do start by playing, like what is it going to look like? How is it going to work?
Absolutely. So I was waiting for this moment because I'm excited.
Oh, you got a mask?
I got a bunch of dad jokes.
Oh my gosh, Petey.
Because we know.
Okay. Petey, bring them up. I want to hear this. I
got about 50 in here.
Oh my!
Right.
Okay. Check out NBA Live 19 with the WNBA players. They messed up crazy. Paul. That's hilarious.
Okay.
All right. What you got for me?
I wouldn't buy anything with Velcro. It's a total ripoff.
Okay. You know what? That's a good one. I don't want you to waste them all, but you got to give me one more.
Did you hear about the guy who invented the knock-knock joke? He won the Nobel Prize.
Oh, okay. These are actually kind of good. They're not funny, but they are good.
Did you hear about the kidnapping? It's okay, Renee. He woke up.
What?
The kidnapping? He woke up.
You need to pause for like comic relief too.
You know what? I'm reading this really good book because it's on the history of glue, and it's so good, Renee, that I can't put it down. Okay,
Petey, are you serious right now? Tell me about this. He was asleep. Somebody, yes, gas. I got it. Gas. I got it.
Am I getting chirped here?
No, you're not. But somebody was trying to explain to me like it was a kid napping that he was asleep, and I was like, got it.
Oh, okay. One more. Could we do one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, one more.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna make sure it's a good one.
Make sure it's a good one. I mean, you can do most. I'm actually impressed that they're not as terrible as I thought they were gonna be.
I gave all my used batteries away today, free of charge.
All right, Petey. All right, that's your time.
Oh, I love dad jokes. So like vibe music, like hip hop, R&B, and dad jokes. Renee Montgomery. So anytime I have a funny dad joke,
don't connect me to your bad dad jokes.
No. I am because so now if I have a dad joke, I'm gonna put it on my story. I'm gonna tag you in it.
Okay, listen, do that. That's because one might be funny. Every 1 in 100 might be funny.
Do you actually like when I tag you in like Jeremiah or like good songs and stuff? Do you ever like look at me like, like do you get it?
No, I get it. If it has you've only tagged me in Jeremiah, so I know right off top that it's like I know that I know we have that connection, Petey.
Absolutely,
I get it.
How's your podcast coming along? Someone's asking.
They're talking to you.
Oh, they're talking. No, they said no. How's your podcast coming, Renee?
Well, I haven't created one.
Oh my god.
That's why I thought they were talking to you.
No, it says, how's your podcast coming, Renee?
No, but I think they asked it before, right? Or did it say Renee the whole time?
It says Renee the whole time.
Oh, sorry. So I just glanced and read it, and then, oh, so I don't have a podcast, so I didn't even think that was for me. I don't have one.
You know what?
I don't have one.
Maybe my past guests are going to be upset about what to say this, but this is one of the best lives. This is one of the best lives I've done.
Woo! I like to be the best.
And I like to have you have an 80% three-pointer average, all right? Percentage.
Okay, I would like that too. Somebody said
in the
like
game.
A year ago, you told me at the movie, the meet and greet, that you were about to start a podcast, and I never started it then. If I did say that, it hasn't been started yet. So I'm sorry, Gas. It hasn't been started yet, but it's, I kind of do guest spots on actually PG Sports podcasts. So
you do, and
she's been kind of like dipping my toes in it right now.
And she's been on Popternative.
I have that was lit.
My show is just like, I gotta say it, like it's.
You gotta say it.
The quarantine is like, we're getting a lot of
You're
views.
getting some guests. I heard about you, Petey. You're getting some TV guests, on shows that people watch guests.
I just interviewed a few people from Too Hot to Handle, the new Netflix reality show.
Yeah.
So
Petey.
it's like.
Shouts to Petey Beats.
Yeah, but Renee Montgomery is on my show. This is good too.
Listen, look, don't mention me after you just talked about them.
I think the funniest thing too was when you first came on my show. I usually do my intro is like, welcome to Popternative, you know what I mean, where we talk about, sports, pop culture, blah, blah, blah. As always, I'm your host, Peter Miliotis, right? And then I introduce my guests. I decided to choose your episode, I guess, to do like a longer intro where I was kind of like, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. And then I introduced you and you were like, thanks, Petey. Wow, that was a lot. That was a big intro.
Yeah, like that. Wait, can you see me normal?
You're kind of frozen, but we were gonna wrap up anyway. So
no, but I'm coming right back.
Okay, no problem. I do love Netflix, Paul. I do. Just come back in.
Okay, my bad. So yeah, I was like,
that's a lot. You were like, that's a lot. What's up, PDB? That was a lot. And the thing is, I never do that intro. Like, I never do that.
Petey Beats did his homework, Petey Beats. I was waiting on you to jump in hey, thanks for having me. And it just kept going. And I was like, okay.
So what advice do you have before we wrap up? Because first of all, I just want to say, you're awesome. All jokes aside, you're an inspiration.
Thank
what you did with your foundation is awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats on everything. I'm a big fan. But what advice do you have for video game Renee Montgomery to get that 3-point percentage up?
What I'll say is you can't listen to the people that complain about your percentage. Just stay in the gym. You got to keep your confidence, whether people complain about 60%, because when you get 80, guess what? They're going to want you to have 100. So don't worry about what they say or what the people are saying. Just do you, boo. Do you.
And people can follow you, obviously, on Instagram. They can follow you on Twitter as well.
Yeah, follow me. Follow me.
Renee with 2 E's, right?
With 2 E's.
I got chewed up for that on live.
After you give me a 15-minute intro about all the things that I've done, and you don't even know how to spell my name, I was shocked.
No,
I thought the first time was a mistake, so I kind of let it pass, and then you did it again. I said, "Come on, Petey."
But how often does that real talk though? Like, how often does that happen where people forget the second E? Does it happen more than we think?
It probably hasn't happened in the last 5 months.
Okay, well,
I'm joking.
You're making me feel bad all the time.
No, people do it. I just assume that if people drop one E, it's on an accident. I just like to assume that for my own being.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's great to catch up with you always. So thank you for doing this.
Petey Beats, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone that watched. Shout out to PG Sports, and thank you.